This is the first episode of the brand new series Worth It, where we take a look at famous and expensive alcohols and compare them against their more affordable counterparts to see if they're actually worth their price tag. In today's video, we'll be taking a look at Clase Azul's Tequila Reposado, normally worth $150, and comparing it to a $50 bottle of Tequila Reposado. Let's get into it. So to start this off, we're gonna take a look at the more affordable bottle of tequila. This tequila was $50 and comes in a 750 milliliter bottle. That breaks down to about $2 an ounce, or about $2 per 30 milliliters. On the overall scale of affordability, I'm still gonna say this is on the higher end with a price tag of $50. However, when you are looking at tequilas, and especially aged tequilas like Reposado, you're probably gonna end up in the $40 to $50 range. Can you find Reposados for cheaper? Yes, absolutely. Are they gonna be as good? Maybe. Looking at the actual bottle design itself, it's nice. Is it gonna turn any heads? No. Is it gonna draw a whole lot of attention? No, but it's nice and not ugly by any means. As for a little background on this particular brand, they've been around for about 60 years and have been primarily family owned for most of the time. The last thing I wanna mention about this particular brand is that this brand does not use any additives in their tequila. That's gonna be important when we take a look at Clase Azul. Now with all that out of the way, let's do the most important thing and actually try this tequila. For this episode, both tequilas will be drinking neat and at room temperature. This will really allow us to see what these tequilas actually taste like. So with that in mind, let's get pouring. Overall, the smell, or the nose, or whatever you want to call it, pretty basic, pretty agave forward if we're gonna get fancy with it. It just smells like a Blanco. In general, nothing really crazy going on in the smell, so let's go ahead and just put this on our palate. That sounds so... Let's go ahead and try this out. Similar to the smell, the flavor overall is pretty tame. If you're not the hugest fans of like whiskey or more heavily aged tequilas like Añejo, I think you would like this. It is smooth, which is nice, and it has a really good mouthfeel to it. However, it is a bit fiery on the way down, truthfully. But overall, not bad. I think you could definitely also mix drinks with this and it would work really, really well on like a margarita, for example. But overall, very agave forward. However, there is a little bit of that kind of aged flavor in there, but it's not very potent and is much less potent than maybe other Reposados, and is much, much less potent than an Añejo. So overall, for the $50 Reposado, it's pretty pleasant. It can be used for sipping and mixing. However, it's not gonna knock your socks off. So now let's go ahead and take a look at Clase Azul's Reposado. Here we have our $150 bottle of Clase Azul Reposado. When you break that down, it is $6 an ounce, or $6 per 30 milliliters. Some people might try and be like, oh, that's not that expensive for tequila. There's bottles that are $1,000. Yeah, whatever, dude. This is not cheap by any means. Like I said, $150, 3 times more expensive than our more affordable Reposado. Looking at the bottle design, I would argue this is one of the most legendary bottles there is. Even if you don't know this particular brand, right? If you didn't know this was a Clase Azul bottle, you've still seen this bottle before, either at a restaurant or a bar. It's been like, oh, it's that one bottle that I see everywhere else. I think it's phenomenal. All these bottles are handmade and hand painted, which definitely probably increases the price a lot. For what it is, I still think it's really, really cool. Something kind of cool that I learned while doing research is that you can ring the bell on these. I am wussing out. Oh my gosh. No. There we go. That was a good one. So yeah, that's kind of cool too. Literally nothing of value there, but it's neat. And this whole bottle is neat. And so I think that's something to consider, especially if you want it kind of as an item on your bar to add. I think this is definitely a standout piece for sure. As for this particular brand, Clase Azul has been around for about 25 years now, and they have a whole line of tequilas, and all their bottles are handmade and all are pretty darn cool. Before we taste this though, the main thing that I want to add that I mentioned back when tasting the more affordable tequila was that Clase Azul does include additives. So what does that mean? Well, when they're making this tequila, they're inserting things like sweeteners, vanilla, and caramel flavors into this to make it taste better. The flavors that you're gonna get from Clase Azul are not necessarily all natural. In fact, I don't even know what I'm saying necessarily. They are not full natural agave tequilas. So this is gonna taste very different than the Reposado that we just had. Sticking with how we tried the more affordable tequila, we'll also be drinking this Clase Azul neat. So right off the bat, the smell is much sweeter than probably most tequilas you're used to. And that's gonna be, like I said, coming from those kind of additives that are added into it. So what are my thoughts on the taste? I personally think it tastes really, really good. Now that might make a lot of people go, but in general, it's hard to beat the taste. Now, is it because of the additives? Yes, it's because of the additives. But when you're tasting this tequila, it's sweet. There's caramel, there's vanilla, and it's hard to say those things don't taste good. It's also a very, very smooth tequila. In general, I do really enjoy the taste. I think it's a really, really easy tequila to sip. And I think if you give this to most people could sip on this, even if they're not the hugest fans of tequila. It's very, very good. It's very, very smooth. And it's very, very flavorful. So now that we've got some background on both tequilas and have tried both tequilas, time to make the decision, is Clase Azul's Reposado worth its $150 price tag? It depends. The best way I could describe it was this really bad analogy, and I kind of don't want to say it, but I think I'm gonna say it. Imagine that you see a really beautiful woman, right? And you're like, wow, she's beautiful. And then the dude next to you goes, yeah, but did you know some of those parts are fake? Okay, you follow me? There's two types of guys here. One guy's gonna go, I don't care, she looks great. And the other guy's gonna go, oh, I don't know if I'm into that. And I think that's kind of the same attitude people have towards Clase Azul. The bottle looks great and the tequila does taste phenomenal, but it does have those additives in it. So if you're looking for a solely agave-based kind of organic tequila, I don't think this is worth it for you, and I don't think you should buy it because it's not gonna be what you're looking for. However, if you're looking for a bottle of tequila that looks great and tastes great, regardless of what's in it, I do think this is worth it, and I do think it's a really, really cool bottle of tequila, especially to have on your shelf. Hopefully this video kind of helped clear up, is Clase Azul worth it? I definitely think it is for certain people, but is that certain person you? But with that in mind, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Also, let me know what alcohol you wanna see next. All right, bye.